Welcome back to BNG Hockey, where it's always black and gold. It seems like it's been nothing but bad news lately for the Boston Bruins, and we got more of that bad news today when former first-round pick Zach Senyshyn formally requested a trade. Let's talk about it. I just recently did a Jake DeBrusk trade request video, so make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But it is very interesting that we've now seen all three of the 2015 first-round picks for the Boston Bruins request a trade, with Jakub Zboril requesting his last season. I do think Zboril could still stick around with the team. He's unfortunately out for the rest of the season after his ACL injury. It's really sad to see him go down because I thought he was finally looking like a legit NHL defenseman in the few games that he played. And he's really the only hope the Bruins have if they really are going to end up trading Jake DeBrusk and Zach Senyshyn. And I do believe they will find a deal, maybe even combining the two together. But getting back to Senyshyn, his path is a little bit different than Jake DeBrusk. At least DeBrusk has made the team, and then he's frustrated once he's made it here with his role. Zach Senyshyn has only played in 14 NHL games so far. He has 1 goal, 2 assists for a total of 3 points, and I should point out that that 1 goal was an empty netter. So the stats haven't been great in those games, but it's crazy to think that Jake DeBrusk and Zach Senyshyn were picked just a pick away from each other, and Jake DeBrusk has practically had an entire NHL career so far, and Senyshyn can barely even make the team. Not saying that Senyshyn is suddenly a superstar and he should be a no-brainer to make the team, but I do think he should get a longer look than 14 games at the NHL level. The kid's played in 213 AHL games, scoring 48 goals, 44 assists for a total of 92 points. This season in the AHL, he's played in 21 games, scoring 8 goals, 5 assists for a total of 13 points. Are the points totals great? No, not really, but he's putting up some numbers, and the biggest reason why I want him to at least get a shot is he's working on his overall game. He realizes if he's going to make the NHL, it's likely going to be in a bottom 6 role, which means you need to be more versatile, and he's worked at getting better at that, playing a better two-way game, and he still has his elite level speed, which is something that got him drafted so high in the first place. So I just don't understand why the Bruins continue to call up guys like Anton Blidh time after time, even when he comes up and doesn't do great. Now, this is nothing against Anton Blidh. That's just an example. I was saying this last year with Chris Wagner, who's now buried in the minors himself. Why is Chris Wagner that much better than Zach Senyshyn? If they're really both just a couple of bums, go with the younger guy and see if he can get sparked a little bit and give you something more, or at least bring some speed and energy. Now, I want to remind everyone that it's not Senyshyns fault he got picked 15th overall at the NHL draft. I know it's frustrating to see guys like Barzal and Connor and Shabbat go, and then we're stuck with Senyshyn. Well, it doesn't have to be a total waste of a pick. He can still be a legit bottom 6 NHLer, and at least it wasn't a total waste and he never makes the team. But honestly, I feel like Bruins management looks at him the same way that the media and the fan base does. Let us know when you're Matt Barzal, otherwise we don't want you. Well, he's never going to be Matt Barzal, and the thing I don't understand is, why would the Bruins pick him 15th overall when they liked his speed in his overall game? He still has that same amount of speed, if not more, because he's gotten bigger and stronger as he's matured, and he's rounded out his all-around game a little more, so he's better suited to play NHL-level hockey, and they still don't give him a chance. 14 games over 3 seasons, playing 9 minutes a night, is not a legit NHL shot. So when he comes up and doesn't score 40 goals in those 14 games, you can't hold that against him because you're really not giving him a chance at all. So I am not surprised to see that Senyshyn is frustrated, and he has every right to be. I honestly just feel bad for Senyshyn. The guy's already 24 years old. He just wants to play in the NHL. He's watching guy after guy get called up from Providence ahead of him, even though he's putting in the same amount of work. He talks about the pressure from the media. That's something that Zboril has talked about before, how they get drafted so high and they never really reach their potential. Now, I should say, this is on Senyshyn a bit too. He could be a little bit better, work a little bit harder, maybe not be so frustrated and just keep working on his game so that he does get that NHL chance. And when you do get only 2 games, you really got to show up and make sure you stay in that lineup. I don't rule that out, and I have been tough on Senyshyn in the past. We all want Matt Barzal over him. If we have Barzal, we probably would have won another cup by now. But like it or not, Bruins fans, we are a lot closer to a rebuild than winning another Stanley Cup. I know that's kind of a hot take, but teams can't be good forever. In fact, we've been really lucky to be as good as we've been for so long. And the Bruins have to start giving some of their young guys a chance, because eventually we're going to need them when guys like Barzal leave the team. And it's frustrating to see another young player talking about the organization in this way, which is only going to have younger players alongside him have some of that rub off on them. Now, it does seem like all the 2015 draft players are kind of bonding together and have all the same issues. That's a very unique situation that likely won't happen again, so that's a good thing. But this is not the first time that the Bruins have not played their young kids. They've went with the veterans, and they've frustrated guys for really no reason. They used to do this to Peter Cehlarik as well. That's a young player I used to like. He'd come up, have a few good games, they'd send him back down, you'd never hear from him again. So those are all legit things that Senyshyn is saying about the organization, and I really hope it changes. I want to try and end this video on a positive note, so I'll say two quick things. One, I like that DeBrusk and Zach Senyshyn requesting a trade kind of forces the team to make a move. Now, they don't technically have to trade these players, but I do think that they will. Now, I will say that Senyshyn won't get you much of anything. The guy has cleared through waivers before, so it's probably nothing more than a late-round draft pick, but if you combine the two players together and do some sort of package deal, I do think you could get a legit NHL piece that can help you now, which is something that the Bruins desperately need. Also, as I said, I hope that the culture changes around the Bruins' younger players. They're kind of doing the same old thing this year once again with guys like Oskar Steen and Jack Senyshyn. They call both of them up, and then they end up playing guys like Blidh and Kuhlman and more. You already know what those guys are. Give your young kids a chance. If they play good, great. If they play bad, it's okay to make mistakes. And you need to let your young players know that it's okay to develop, it's okay to find your game, that we still believe in you and you're still part of our future plans. And the Bruins don't do that nearly enough, so I hope that two young guys requesting trades forces them to look at their younger players different and maybe give them more of a chance. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think the Bruins need to play their younger guys more? Are you worried that now two players have requested a trade so far this season? Do you think more will come? And what do you think they'll get in a deal for guys like Zach Senyshyn and Jakub Zboril? Leave that down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big like, and if you haven't already, subscribe.